The following program is being brought to you on the Voice America Business Channel. For more information about our network and to check our additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericabusiness.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
Forbes magazine recently reported that there were 1,210 billionaires in the U.S. collectively. They were worth over $4.5 trillion. America continues to be the world's largest economy and boasts the lion's share of this ultra-rich class of people. In spite of this fact, an estimated 46.2 million people in America are living in poverty today. Where are we going wrong, and what can we do about it? Welcome to Wealth Solutions for the 99% with your host, Paul LaJoy. Let us show you some of the strategies that will set you on the path to building personal wealth. These are proven strategies that are working for others and can work for you too. Now, here is your host, Paul LaJoy.
Yeah, good morning and good afternoon to you where you are, whether you're on the West Coast or on the East Coast. Welcome to Wealth Solutions for the 99%, the show where every week I bring you success nuggets. You live in America. If you were not born here, there's a reason why you came here. I believe that the reason was mostly economic in nature. So, if you are not better off than you were in your native country, then something is terribly wrong. And this show is all about changing that. I'm all about changing that. They say knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. I say applied knowledge is power. Last week I had Mr. Andrew Wade on the show. Mr. Andrew Wade is basically from New Zealand. And he lived here for the last 40 years, and 25 of which he spent doing real estate. That's just amazing. And he talked about why the United States is a very attractive market, for foreigners. And we talked about countries like Canada, China, Mexico, the UK, India constitute the top 5 countries that are investing in American real estate. Why is the American real estate so popular around the world as opposed to other countries? Why is it so popular? We talked about that last week. And we talked about Florida, California, Arizona, New York, and Texas being the top 5 destinations for investors, right? So if you look at California, there's a reason for why people are investing in California. If you look at Florida, there's a reason why people are investing in Florida. Arizona, there's a reason why people are investing in Arizona. New York and Texas. I've been to Texas quite a few times, and I love it there in Dallas. I've not been to other parts of Texas, but I suppose I hear that San Antonio, it's beautiful. Austin, Texas is wonderful. I mean, you can just invest over there. And I hear that Arizona, which I haven't been to, is pretty hot. Phoenix, Arizona is leading America in the recovery. So 25%, I think it's more than that right now, 25% of that. The market is growing a lot, in Arizona. And that's followed by California and Florida. Those markets that actually led America into recession. Those are the markets that are leading America back into recovery. That's just amazing. And that's why I love to do what I do. That's just amazing. All right? So today we're going to talk about how to make money without any of your own money. Okay? And see, I said applied knowledge is phenomenal. Right? So not just having knowledge, but having the knowledge that you can apply. And today I'm going to have a panel of private money lenders. I've used them in my industry. I've used them, in creating wealth for myself and my investor friends, equity partners, people that are investing with me. So I think basically this show is going to be wonderful. It's going to be phenomenal. So if you have a moment, and if you're listening right now, you call this number 866 472-5790. 866-472-5790. We have a great lineup for you today. We're going to talk about things that maybe you have never heard of. I believe so much in educating people. I believe in sharing knowledge with people, and I also believe all the time I talk about what President Kennedy once said. Don't ask what my country can do for me, but what can I do for my country? So today I woke up well early in the morning just to give you, something knowledge that I think has helped me a lot, in the past couple of years, and I want to share this knowledge with you. And I have my good friend, Mr. Lewis, who lives in Nevada here. He was going to share with us this, some of the nuggets of being successful in the real estate arena. Again, the number to call is 866-472-5790. 866-472-5790. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're actually going to talk to Mr. Louis Borders, who is my good friend here over there in Nevada, California. Okay, so a quick break here.
Be sure to friend us on Facebook. You can do it right now. Visit facebook.com/Voice America or search for us at keyword Voice America.
Dialogue is the single most powerful leadership tool we have to make a difference in the world. Leading Conversations with host Cheryl Esposito creates a place for that dialogue. Tune into the Voice America Business Channel every Friday as Cheryl hosts new conversations among leaders from around the world in business, government, art, economics, and social change. We'll explore big ideas and everyday actions and learn how their own leadership has led them to discover a newfound sense of possibility in the world. Leading Conversations with Cheryl Esposito, bringing big thinkers together in conversations that make a difference, right here on the Voice America Business Channel every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Costa, host of the Costa Report every Tuesday at 6 a.m. and again at 6 p.m. This week, my guest is outspoken former congressman and one of our country's most prominent gay public figures, Mr. Barney Frank. He'll be with us to talk about the Supreme Court's ruling on DOMA and how the Obama presidency is doing in its second term. Don't miss Barney Frank this Tuesday at 6 a.m. and again at 6 p.m. on the Voice America Business Channel.
What's going on behind the scenes with your favorite Voice America show or host? For the latest news, visit the iRadio blog at iradioblog.com.
Are you an entrepreneur that wants to achieve more? Not just in it for profit, but to do work you find meaningful, that adds more value to more people in more ways? Listen for Be More, Achieve More, Inspiration for the Entrepreneurial Mind. With host Chris Cooper, you'll hear from successful achievers from around the world with the passion and experience to offer invaluable guidance. These people are making a difference and will help give you the motivation and insight to achieve more. Be More, Achieve More can be heard live Fridays at 8 a.m. U.S. Pacific Time on the Voice America Business Channel.
What's going on behind the scenes with your favorite Voice America show or host? For the latest news, visit the iRadio blog at iradioblog.com.
You are tuned in to Wealth Solutions for the 99% with Paul LaJoy. We'd love to hear from you on today's program. Please call in to 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. Or email us at lajoysolutions@gmail.com. Now, back to Wealth Solutions for the 99%.
Okay, welcome back to the show with Paula Joy. Okay, we're talking about wealth solutions for the 99%, and today we're going to talk about how you can make money without any of your own money. People come to me all the time and talk about, well, but you need to have money to make money in real estate. I say no. And today we're going to talk about that. And on the phone, I have my good friend, Mr. Louis Borders, who is here, right here in San Francisco Bay Area, and is going to share with us, that nugget of making money without any of your own money. Hey, Louis, you there?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Paul?
Okay, cool. Louis, how are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you, Paul.
Hey, man, thank you so much for taking the time this morning to talk to us and my audience about, how you started in real estate and the real estate economy right now, and the opportunities that the current market offers to people. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You're welcome. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay, cool. So, Louis, I've known you for about 3 years now, but I don't know exactly how long you've been in real estate. How long have you been in real estate?
Well, I started as a mortgage broker in 2005.
Okay.
And so that was my start of my real estate career. And then I went through the downturn in the real estate bubble, trying to broker mortgages, and which was very tough and was a struggling time for me. And then about 2009, I got into doing hard money or private money loans.
Interesting. So before that, I mean, we'll talk more in detail about that. But today, you have common people are being priced out of this market, especially in our Bay Area. I mean, agents and consumers are coming to me and wondering what I make of this market. What do you make of this market, Louis? I mean, what's happening?
Well, my belief is I think the single family market in the Bay Area, there's some areas are particularly overvalued. For example, in 2010 and 2011, I was buying single-family homes in Sacramento, and my strategy was to buy the homes, do some remodeling, and then put a tenant in the property, and then hold the properties for 5 to 7 years because I thought over time they would appreciate in value. Mm-hmm. What I found is about the middle of 2012, the market started really heating up, and my properties that I had purchased had appreciated probably 30 to 40% within a 6-month range from the middle of 2012 to the beginning of 2013. So what I started doing, I just started selling my portfolio.
Right.
And the reason I did that is because hedge funds were coming into the market and they were buying single-family homes for rentals, and their going-in cap rate was 5%, which I believe is extremely low compensation for owning a single-family residential rental property. And that was sort of the metric I started looking at is if someone's willing to own a single-family home and rent it out and make a 5% return, there's a lot more investment opportunities in the marketplace to make a greater return than 5%. And I felt, hey, this investment for me is overvalued, so I sold most of my portfolio.
Wow.
So I'm constantly seeing that over and over again where investors particularly are willing to hold residential real estate at a very, very low return today.
That's interesting. So do you think this trend is going to continue? I've only been here in America for a short time, 11 years or so, and you have been here. You were born here. So you've seen the cycles. I mean, what is going on? I mean, exactly what is going on right now? You said hedge funds are coming in and buying these things. I don't understand why they're doing that, but what is going on? What do you see as a trend? I mean, is this going to continue for how long?
Well, I don't think the rapid price appreciation can, continue very much longer. There's a lot of economic variables that are very, very different today than they were in 2005 and 2006, with the real estate bubble. For example, unemployment is still relatively high. Real wages or real incomes haven't increased at the same pace at which, property prices, have increased. So I think what's happened, and this is just my opinion, and I could be totally wrong, is that I believe in market cycles when you have an overcorrection downward, like we did in 2008 through 2011, the market's going to go down more than it probably should have, and then when it starts to come back up, you're going to have an overcorrection going upward, and then some, regular trend moving forward. So I think we should expect, or I'm expecting to see that the market, come back to some state of normalcy here soon as rates have increased a little bit. Supply is increasing in the market because sellers are more willing to sell because prices have gone up. And so you'll have some economic factors that will drive more of a normal market moving forward.
So what's the rationale for these hedge funds coming in and buying properties and the cap rate is only about 5%? For the average person that's listening right now, maybe they don't understand what the cap rate is. Maybe shed some light on the cap rate a little bit.
Okay, so basically what a cap rate is you take the net operating income of your property. So you take the gross gross income, you subtract out your operating, expenses, and you take your net operating income. So operating expenses would be, maintenance on the property, insurance, property taxes. You take all those expenses out of your gross income, and you take that annualized number. So if it's $1,000 per month, you multiply that by 12, you have $12,000 of net operating income. Then you divide that by your purchase price. Mm-hmm. So what happens is as the purchase price increases at a greater rate than your net operating income, your actual return becomes lower. So if you buy at the peak of a market, your cap rate should be relatively low. If you buy at a bottom, at a market's bottom or the cycle downward, then your cap rates should be relatively higher. So if you follow a cap rate trend that way, logically, one would believe that, or I believe that as the cap rates get smaller, you're headed to sort of a peak, in the market. So my only thinking is that hedge funds, bigger, institutional investors that have gone out and bought a lot of single-family homes, as rentals, they have to be backing in a lot of price appreciation in their forecasts and their models, because investors don't give money to hedge funds if they can only get a 5% return.
Right.
Because what a hedge fund's going to do is they're going to get the 5%, they're going to, subtract out their fees and expenses, and then what the investor's left with is somewhere between 3 and 4%, which is not a very good return for the risk profile that the hedge fund is taking on. So, again, I think they're backing in a lot of forecasts or they're forecasting a lot of appreciation into their models.
Okay, so that tells me something, right? So if they only getting 5%, my advice for people is that if you're buying a property and you're getting, I go with the rule of 1%. If I'm going to buy a property for $100,000, I must make $1,000 a month. Just simple math. Okay.
Yeah.
So that way we'll cover everything.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
so the hedge funds
that's a really
coming
good
in.
Rule of thumb.
Right. And it's very simple, right? I mean, for the average person, you buy a property for $300,000 for rental to buy and hold, then you must make $3,000 a month, and I'm just basing that on 12%. I mean, it's like, let's say you bought this property without no money out of your pocket, and the interest rate is at 12%. So basically, you're getting $3,000. And if you follow that rule, then you never go wrong. You never go wrong. And can you imagine that you put 20% down and your rate is 4%, then of course that's cash flow. But the investor, these hedge funds are buying this. So basically, that's an interesting point that you raised, though, that that they're hedging on the fact that, and that's what they call hedge funds, right? So because they're hedging on the fact that the market will continue to appreciate, and we see that. Last week I had the publisher of the Personal Real Estate Investor magazine, Mr. Andrew Waite, who has been doing real estate for the past 25 years, originally from New Zealand, and he loves the American market. And he talked about, the population increase in America is 3.1 million people every year. And so what happened in 2008, 2009, even 2010, developers are not building houses enough. So what's happening, the demand is high, and coupled with the low interest rates and stuff like that, still low interest rates, so the demand is so high. And I think that's what the hedge funds are doing, saying, okay, fine. Even though my cap rate is only 5%, the market will continue to appreciate in value. Would you agree with that analysis, Louis?
Well, yeah, I mean that's one way to look at it, and I think one problem that institutional investors or hedge funds are faced with, especially the last 4 or 5 years, there hasn't been a lot of attractive investments, available, because the stock market's going up now, but for the last, if you look back 3 or 4 years, we've had a bear market in the stock market. Bonds did okay, but there just wasn't a lot of attractive investments available. And so, when you have an investing environment like that, like we've seen the last 3 or 4 years, where there's just not much available to invest in, then what hedge funds have to do is they have to go to their clients, their individual investors, and come up with some strategy that they think will work to get above market returns. Otherwise, investors will start pulling their money out of these funds and go and put it somewhere else with the guy that's come up with a new strategy. So, hedge funds have not always been right. Just because they're they're institutional investors doesn't mean they're always making good decisions. I mean, there's a lot of hedge funds that lose money as well. So on that pretense is I think real estate is it's becoming hot again. People are talking about it. It's in the media, and I think hedge funds, when they go out and talk to their clients with a new strategy. If real estate's becoming hot again, then it sounds like, hey, this is a good strategy. Keep your money with me, and we'll just keep investing in it.
That's good. So, Louis, what do you see over there in Marin County? Marin County is a pretty hot county. We see things here, in places like Berkeley that people are offering 20%. I've seen people, a property listed for two bedrooms, one bath in places like El Cerrito. Small places that people haven't heard about. But I mean, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, and someone listed property for $599, gets $785,000. Come on. So what's happening over there in your neck of the woods?
Well, what's happened in the west side of the Bay Area, which is like the peninsula through San Francisco all the way up to like Marin County, many of the areas and many of the zip codes in that area, San Mateo, San Francisco, Marin County. A lot of the homes are back to 2006 and 2007 pricing. And even in like southern Sonoma County and like Petaluma, there are some homes coming on the market too that I've seen, higher end homes, that are $1 million homes that if you go back and you research that property, you can see it sold in 2006 for $1.1 million and it's listed today for $1.1 million. That's also happened in areas like Moraga, Orinda, Lafayette, parts of the East Bay, Berkeley, markets that have really heated up. There are some areas in the Bay Area that have come back to the peak pricing. And so that's really what we've seen in Marin is that houses are back to what they were selling for in 2006.
Is that a problem?
Well, I think it's not as much of a problem for a county like Marin County because there's so much wealth and money. And the median home price in Marin County is $950,000. So it's very, very difficult to compare Marin County, relatively speaking, with, Alameda County, because Alameda County does have there's a lot of lower priced homes in Oakland and Hayward, San Leandro areas. So an area like Marin can absorb the price appreciation like that because it's such a desirable place to live, and people here have such high incomes.
Good. We're going to take a break, and I think that's a good segue there. You talked about a lot of money in Marin County, and so since you're a private money lender, we're going to talk more, on the second half of this show. We're going to talk more about private money lending and what got you into it and how our listeners can take advantage of what you offer and what the current market offers. We're going to take a break, but the number to call after the break will be 866-472-5790. We're going to take a break right now. We'll come back soon.
Think you've seen everything there is to see in online television? Let us surprise you. Visit voiceamerica.tv today for sports, health, business, and more on demand 24/7.
Do you need directions to solid financial future? If so, the Money Answers Show with Jordan Goodman will provide you with a roadmap to making smart money decisions in every area of your personal finances. Join Jordan every Monday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern for the Money Answers Show on the Voice America Business Channel. Learn how and where to get the best deals on mortgages, cars, and insurance. Find out the best ways to save for college and retirement, get out of debt, improve your credit rating, and save on your taxes. The Money Answers Show with Jordan Goodman will provide you with great tips on investment opportunities in real estate, stocks, annuities, and other investment vehicles. That's the Money Answers Show with Jordan Goodman on the Voice America Business Channel every Monday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Are you an entrepreneur that wants to achieve more? Not just in it for profit, but to do work you find meaningful, that adds more value to more people in more ways? Listen for Be More, Achieve More, Inspiration for the Entrepreneurial Mind. With host Chris Cooper, you'll hear from successful achievers from around the world with the passion and experience to offer invaluable guidance. These people are making a difference and will help give you the motivation and insight to achieve more. Be More, Achieve More can be heard live Fridays at 8 a.m. U.S. Pacific Time on the Voice America Business Channel.
We're making it easier to listen to the Voice America Talk Radio Network live wherever you go on iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android. Download it from the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
You are tuned in to Wealth Solutions for the 99% with Paul LaJoy. We'd love to hear from you on today's program. Please call in to 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. Or email us at lajoysolutions@gmail.com. Now, back to Wealth Solutions for the 99%.
Welcome back to Wealth Solutions for the 99%. We're talking about wealth solutions for the 99%. If you are not making more than $500,000 or $400,000 a year as a single person, then you are part of the 99%. We're going to show you how to make $400,000 or more. So it behooves you to listen to this show. And today it's loaded with some information that's going to help you get over to $400,000 a year. I have my man, Mr. Louis Barters. He's a private money lender, and I've known him for about 3 years. We talk about some really cool stuff that will help you. First half of the show, we talked about the real estate market, and second half of the show, we're going to talk about private money lending, how Louis got into private money lending, and how you can benefit from what he does and what he offers. I mean, I've used them on many properties that we were bought. You don't need money to make money. Okay, we're going to tell you about it today. Okay, Louis, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay, cool. So how is the private money industry doing right now? Louis, you said you got into it in 2009. How is it doing?
Yeah, I think my business, we're doing very, very well. And so in January, I started in 2009. I was working for a broker in Novato, California. And then in January 2012, I started my own company, and we've raised about $95 million for a mortgage fund that we currently lend out of. And so what I've seen is that, my business has grown. I think the market share for private lending has grown because of the way that the real estate market is structured today. For real estate investors to get in and get it and seize on the opportunity of a good deal, you have to have quick, reliable, fast funding lined up, and that's really been the niche that I really tried to go after, is providing excellent service and reliable funding to real estate investors. So when they go in and they make a strong offer on a property that they want to buy, whether it's for a rental or for a flip, they know that they can rely on me, and when I say I'm going to do something, I do it.
Yeah, I know that. I know that for sure because I have approached Louis. I've approached you many times, and I say, "Hey, Louis, I want you to fund this." I remember very recently there was a deal in San Jose, a short sale that we were acquiring for $1 million, and I said, "Okay, I need you to fund $600,000, and I need that done the following day." And by noon, I sent you that email at 1 a.m. on Monday, and by before 12 the following day, Tuesday, you were ready to fund this thing, right?
Yeah, right. I got working on it right away, and we had docs into the escrow company, within 24 hours on that transaction.
That's cool. So I said that you are actually a licensed real estate agent. You chose to go into private money lending and not instead of selling real estate or even doing conventional lending. What attracted you to private money lending?
I think it's just the nature of the business. It's an aggressive business. It's a business for guys that, you have to be street smart. You have to be savvy. You're dealing with a lot of sophisticated people. And frankly, I just don't think I have the patience to deal with listing properties and selling them and working with buyers going out and looking at properties. I just don't. I really appreciate some agents that have the patience to put clients in their car and then go drive around Saturday and go look at properties. I don't think I have the patience to do that. I'm an aggressive guy, and I like going out and finding deals, and I like bringing deals in, and I like getting them closed, and I like doing it fast. And so I think that's what's really attracted me to the business. That's why I think I've done so well at it.
Right. So you trump with conventional lending. You don't have the patience to do that. I mean, wait 30 days to and then look at all these things, conditions and stuff like that. Right?
Well, right. I mean, in our business today, with the clients that we work with, we like working with, experienced investors, guys that we have a relationship with, guys that have a track record. And I have a personal relationship with a lot of my clients, and so I understand their business and they understand mine. And when they have a deal, they can send me over all the documentation. I go meet them at the property. We look at the property together. I get a bid from them on what they're going to rehab the project on. I run some, valuation comps for myself, and then we make a decision whether we're going to do the deal or not. And so I just feel like my personality and my, and how I'm wired inside, it's a better fit for me just to be out looking at, deals very, very, quickly and getting stuff done, fast.
Well, you're listening to Wealth Solutions for the 99% and how you can make money without any of your own money. We're talking to my good friend, Mr. Louis Bardes, and he's very excited as a private money lender. He's living the true American dream. Originally a real estate agent in 2005, he's now one of the top lenders in the Bay Area, private money lender. You just heard him say that he's raised $95 million. That's astounding. Louis, I remember when we met, I think end of 2012 or 2011, and you had, I think, basically seen me online or something like that. I was buying properties, and you said, hey, you sent me an email, and you said that you guys had $6 million, and you were making the funds readily available to lend to me. I was astounded. And now you're telling me that you've raised $95 million. I mean, you started your own firm, you raised $95 million. How do you raise these humongous sums of money? How?
Well, some of it I have to give credit to my business partner. I have a business partner. His name is Michael. And what we did is when we partnered, we, divided the labor, and he raises the capital for the mortgage fund, and I work with the, real estate investors, and I bring deals into the business. And so, I've leveraged his business experience and his network of contacts, and he's made a career in real estate at, raising, private equity capital for, commercial real estate investments and, private equity funds. So for me and for him, it was a really good fit is he had a large network of, investors that had a lot of cash that wanted to invest, and I had a large book of business of, real estate investors like yourself, Paul, that wanted to borrow money. And so it was a good partnership and it was a good marriage. And so, that's one of the keys to being successful, I think in anyone's, real estate career is to align yourself with more experienced people that can mentor you, that can teach you, that can educate you, and, partner with people, and you guys can, use each other's strengths and weaknesses, back and forth with each other.
So you go to these real estate investor clubs, and you see NAR says that the average real estate agent made only $37,000, in 2011. I know the statistics in 2012, but I'm sure those have not changed. What would be your advice if you had a real estate agent listening to this show right now, and you being a licensed real estate agent now concentrated on private money lending? What would be your advice to the average agent that's listening to the show? I mean, what would they do? I mean, I tell my agents, go to those investor meetings and stuff like that, because investors are, like you said, I mean, these investors, and guess what? It's easy for them. That sophisticated people. It's not like the end buyer that you have to drive around and stuff like that. What would be your advice if you were to speak to a group of real estate agents today?
Yeah. I think to be successful, you have to find a niche, and I found a niche for myself, and I found a niche for my business. I just spent 5 minutes explaining, what that niche is. And so, I think for real estate agents, there's a lot of different types of consumers to work with that can, render your services. So, it takes kind of some heart and soul searching to find out, what type of person do you want to work with? Do you think you're better off working with buyers, and maybe you have the patience to spend a lot of time on the weekend and drive people around? but maybe you're better suited. Maybe you're a little bit more faster-paced guy like I am, and you might want to work with investors. Is to figure out what's a good niche for you, and then go and really work hard at that niche. To be successful, in real estate or being a real estate agent, I think it takes a lot of hard work. You have to provide really good service to people. You always have to be thinking about your clients. You have to be available all the time. When somebody calls or they send you an email at midnight, you want to be right on it the next morning. And those are the disciplines and the things that are going to win you business in the long term. You may not see it right away, but 2, 3, 4 years from now, what will happen is if you can provide good service, find a really good niche to work in the market, then people will start to know you, and a lot of your business will become business just based on referrals, because people will just be talking about you more. The general market of consumers who are going to use your services will be talking about you more.
Yeah, that's great. Life is supposed to be easy. You're supposed to have the abundant life, and especially living here in America. And you have found yours, your niche. I know how you live. You live a great life, So we're going to talk about why people give you money so easily, when we come back from the break. But the number to call in, if someone is interested in calling, talking to Louis or myself, number to call is 888-346-9141. 888-346-9141. We're going to take a break and continue to talk to Louis about, private money lending, and we're going to talk about why is he able to raise $95 million easily. Okay, take a break right now.
Follow us on Twitter at VoiceAmericaTRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's VoiceAmericaTRN.
If you want to know about investing in emerging and frontier markets, or if you have experience in this field but still need to know more, tune in to Emerging and Frontier Markets Investing with Gavin Graham. Gavin explores news, current trends, and insights about both categories of investing. His guest experts, along with his own knowledge, will help you stay above the line when it comes to growth potential, whether in funds or equities. He will look at what to invest in and avoid. Tune in to Emerging and Frontier Markets Investing with Gavin Graham every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 6 a.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Business Channel. How can we Americans realize our dreams to earn a living? How can you pursue your dream and make money as an owner or an employee? Learn how at The American Business Person, the online weekly radio talk show hosted by Rich Killian. Today's business leaders share how to succeed and what fails. If you own a new or established business or ever hope to, you must tune in. Join us every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Central, and noon Pacific on the Voice America Business Channel, or listen on demand to our archived shows.
Save on your prescriptions with the RX Savings Plus drug discount card offered by Voice America. It is not insurance, and discounts are only available from participating pharmacies. But 9 out of 10 pharmacies participate nationwide. Start saving today. Print your free card online at voiceamerica.rxsavingsplus.com or text the word TALK RADIO to 96362.
You are tuned in to Wealth Solutions for the 99% with Paul LaJoy. We'd love to hear from you on today's program. Please call in to 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. Or email us at lajoysolutions@gmail.com. Now, back to Wealth Solutions for the 99%.
Welcome again back to Wealth Solutions for the 99%. Again, if you're making less than $400,000 a year, then you're part of the 99%. I'm sure you want to be part of the 1%, right? It's not bad. It's not bad. It's actually great being part of the 1%. So we're talking to Louis Bartis. He's a private money lender here in the Bay Area, and Louis is a personal friend. Before we went on a break, can you talk about creating your own niche? Your secret to success is having a niche. Okay? Niches are your riches, right? So that's just clear. I mean, basically, people who carve a niche and are jacks of all trades, guess what? they are going to make it in life. You see a business, like Apple, for example, makes iPhone and makes the iPad, just makes computers. They can do whatever they wanted to do, but again, they concentrate on one niche, right? Google, look at the stock of Google. It's close to $1,000, right? Google concentrates on the search engine, so it's known as a search engine master. YouTube on videos, Instagram on photos. You gotta have your niche to be able to be successful. And some people are not successful. They're going all over the place and they're not focused. Like my book talks about, it's impossible to be poor in America. And we talk about vision. You gotta have a vision. Then you gotta take action. You gotta have passion. You gotta have the discipline, the determination. You gotta have the environment. You gotta have a mentor, someone to help you. And then humility, integrity, all those things. If you have not gotten a copy of this book, head to Amazon.com and look for Wealth Solutions, or look for It's Impossible to Be Poor in America. Or you can go to just paulajoy.com, and click on the book. Or just go to the website. It's Impossible to Be Poor in America. We have videos there that will share with you. And we want you not to be poor in America. You can be successful in America. Don't matter where you are today. It does not matter where you are today. Today can be the first day of the rest of your life. You listen to this show. We want you to be successful. Money is important. I think money makes the world go around. They say love does. Yeah, love does, but money does. Can you imagine what you could do, the things that you could do if you have money, right? Many things, many things. So we'll talk about private money lending today. And Lewis talked about, how he started his own company with his friend Michael in 2012. And now I talk about $95 million that they've raised recently. I mean, it started from $6 million when I met him for the first time to $95 million. Can you imagine? 5 years down the road, it's based on his track record, it's based on his niche. 5 years down the road, Lewis will be able to raise $1 billion. And he's just like the rest of us. He has one nose, two eyes, one head, just like the rest of us. And it's the same thing. This is what makes me very passionate about this show and things that I do. We have Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg. He's not even 30 years old yet. And yet he has a company that really employs thousands of people right now and moving and shaking the world. The guys that started Google, they're not even 40 years old, if I'm not mistaken. And look at that. The stock is over $900,000. And these people are changing the world, making it a better place. Your riches are in your niches. So we talked about that, and we concentrated on real estate, and we have Lewis. Okay, Lewis, so you said that people giving you money, right? So why did they choose you instead of giving their money to the bank and putting it in CDs, savings accounts, 401k, even IRA?
Right. Well, I think one of the reasons is we pay a higher return, right now, than someone could get at a savings account, CD, or putting their money maybe in the stock market. But one thing I want to make clear is that raising money is just it's not easy. I mean, it takes time, it takes hard work. People have to believe in what you're doing. They have to trust you. They have to believe that you have a certain level of honesty and that you're going to do what you say you're going to do. And so, what I found is that raising money becomes easier over time if you have a solid track record and you're fair with investors and you do what you say you're going to do and you follow through. Then going out, even if you're just an individual and you're looking to buy a rental property, you're looking to buy a property to flip, there's tons of networking events and investor meetups that you can go to in the Bay Area where there are lenders there that have $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 in their IRA that they want to lend to somebody on a real estate project. And in order to get that person to commit to lending you the funds or being an equity investor in your project, they have to believe in your business plan, and you have to demonstrate to them some level of track record and a real reason on why should they invest with you. And so I think what it really comes down to is again, I have to give a lot of credit to my business partner Michael, and his business career, he's developed a lot of trustworthy relationships with investors, and he has a really solid track record. And when he goes out and he talks to investors about our business, people take him seriously, and they believe in what he's doing. And so, you have to have a good product, you have to have, a track record, and you have to be trustworthy. And if you have those three things, the chances of you being able to attract capital to your business, it just increases a lot.
Yeah, track record. Solid track record, honesty, and of course trustworthiness. I mean that I know that for sure because I invest a lot, as you know. I mean, basically, I think I've closed like 15 deals with you so far, and we talk about people investing without any of their own money. You just talked about, someone could go to any of these events, these meetup groups, and people will be there willing to part with their money so long as that person is honest and has a track record. And, the sky is a limit. The sky is a limit.
Right.
Talk about people can invest. So someone can come to you, like I'll come to you and say, Louis, you're lending at 70%, and we'll talk about that a little bit, and then I can raise the remaining portion of the money from someone else, equity partner. And guess what? I bought that property without any of my own money. Can you elaborate a little bit on that, Louis?
Yeah, absolutely. So it is possible to go and find, 100% financing plus an equity investor to loan you the funds to do the construction or the rehab if you're going to flip a property or if you're buying a property to rehab and then rent out. And really the way that works is, the way I see it work, every day is a real estate investor like yourself, Paul, would come to me. I would do a 70% of purchase price, first deed of trust or first mortgage on the property, and then the real estate investor would have to find someone that's willing to give them the remaining 30% plus the rehab money. And so the way that someone can do that, the actual mechanics of that is start going to networking events, start introducing yourself, create business cards for yourself, start talking to real estate agents to find deals, start talking to other wholesalers, guys that are wholesaling deals. And if you get a good deal and you can put that deal in contract, then your likelihood of attracting money just increases some. And then from there, what I would suggest to do to somebody is to put down in a real succinct 2 or 3 page, PowerPoint presentation or Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, put all the numbers down on this project. My purchase price is going to be $100,000. I need $20,000 in the rehab budget. My total costs are going to be $130,000 after, fees and expenses. And based on, this broker price opinion I got from this agent, and based on my own analysis of the comps, I think I can resell the property for $200,000, and there's a potential for $70,000 in profit on this deal.
So that's not rocket science, right? That's not rocket science. That's fairly easy, isn't it?
You're absolutely right. It's simple math. You don't even have to know algebra. You can just know simple math. What it takes is a little bit of motivation, and it takes a little bit of common sense to, go up to somebody and approach them and show them, hey, here's my deal, and lay it out for them in a real succinct, easy, simple way. And then take this investor, this equity investor, and say, hey, if you have some money to lend, I want to do what I can to be able to borrow that from you. Can we make an appointment? Let's go look at the property together and go out and look at the property, with this person. Put that investor in action with you. Walk them through the property. Tell them everything you're going to do. Create this picture in their mind of what the property is going to look like, and your chances have just increased a little bit more. So you can go through this step-by-step process, and it works all the time for real estate investors to be able to raise 100% financing or even more. It just takes a little common sense and it takes some motivation. You got to get out there. You got to get out to these meetings. You got to get out and start meeting people, and you have to present yourself like a business to somebody, and they're going to people start taking you seriously.
So that's the reason why I say in my book that's impossible to be poor in America. These are very simple concepts. Even Google, Yahoo, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, these are very simple concepts, not rocket science. Some people say, I'm not a techie. All right, then you see real estate wherever you go. I don't care where you live in Manteca or you live in, I don't know, Trenton, somewhere in New Jersey. I don't care where you live. There's real estate everywhere you go. Residential real estate, commercial real estate. And now we have these meetup groups all over the place, investor meetup groups all over the place. If someone is poor in America today, I strongly believe that is because they want to be poor. I was on a radio show yesterday and they asked me this question: are poor people to be blame? I say yes. If you are not mentally or physically sick and you're poor in America, you have yourself to blame. You know, I really think so. You got people today, some of them are listening right now, okay, and they're doing 2 jobs, 3 jobs, and they hate those jobs. Statistics show us that 85% of the people in America hate their jobs. But, Louis, do you hate your job, Louis?
No, I love what I do, and I think that's very, it's a key to being successful. It's when I work 12 hours a day. It's not really work to me. It's what I do because it's what I like to do. And there's plenty of nights where I'll work all day. I'll go out and look at properties. I'll meet clients, and then I'll drive from where I live over to Fremont, over close to where Paul is, and that's about an hour and a half drive. And then I'll stay for a 2-hour investor networking meeting, and just to get out and market myself and meet people, and then drive home. Some nights I don't get home until 11 o'clock. But
you love every minute of it, every moment of it, right?
Yeah, I do. I mean, everything is. I love my life today. So, but I've worked. It hasn't been handed to me. I started with nothing, and I've built everything that I have today. And so it took a lot of hard work, and I found something that I was really passionate about and I really liked, and I just work hard at it. And so I don't.
You don't have to worry about your mortgage. You don't have to worry about being on time. And some boss telling you. But you don't have to worry about being fired or anything like that. Because you found your niche. You found something that you like. I mean, and life becomes glorious for you. And why do many people in America? Why do they not take advantage of this? You know. Okay, Louis, let me tell you, we have a few more minutes left, but I want to talk about you're an asset-based lender, and that means that you don't even look at people's credit. You lend purely on the strength of the property that they're buying. And it means that you don't even care about their credit. You don't care whether they have credit, whether they're a foreigner or an American, and whether they have bad credit, bankruptcy, foreclosure, short sale, and records. Can you elaborate a little bit on this, on your lending criteria?
Well, right, and so we do. I mean, I do look at a person's credit report, and most of our focus is on the borrower's track record and their experience, then on the property, on the collateral itself, and then on the borrower's credit worthiness or so forth. But I have a lot of real estate investors that I lend to that are very reliable guys that have short sales, foreclosures on their credit report because they were, investing at the peak of the market and they ended up losing properties. And so what I like to do is I like to tie a story to the person's credit, and if it makes sense and the property is a good property and I feel good about the borrower, then, a lot of times we can get over, credit problems like that. So I think the point you're trying to make, Paul, is credit doesn't have to be a limitation to, get into the real estate business.
Yeah, exactly. They just have to find the right product, the right property, and they can work with a real estate agent. They can go to any of these meetings, they can join the meetup meetings. And if they're listening today, I really want you, if you're listening today, you could go online, type in meetup.com and look for investor groups in your area. Join some of them. You don't have to be experienced in real estate to start off. Okay, we can show you how to make money without any other money. And can you imagine this? This show was started for free. You don't have to pay for this show, but we gave you a lot of information today to start you off. Louis, do you have any closing thoughts? Because we are running out of time. I would really love to have you for more than 2. And maybe we come back some other time. But any closing thoughts?
Well, no, I want to say thanks again, Paul, for having me on the show, and I appreciate being able to share some of my experience, with people that are listening, on, what's helped me become, a more successful person. And so I just want to close up and say that, a lot of what I said today on the show has been from my own personal experience and things that I've done in my own life and my own career.
How do they contact you?
I can be reached by telephone. You can call my office directly at 415-248-1167. And my company is called FJM Capital, and the number is 415-248-1167.
Just mention that. You heard him on the Wealth Solutions for the 99%. Louis, thank you again. I'll talk to you later, man. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Paul.
All right, cool. So, guys, you heard it there. You don't need money to make money. You don't need credit to make money. You don't need income even to make money. This is not conventional lending. It's been a pleasure sharing this program with you today, Wealth Solutions for the 99%. Kennedy once said, and I repeat it many times, okay, don't ask what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And that's what I'm doing. This is my little effort to say, what can I do for America? And what can I do for you, the listener? It's been Wealth Solutions for the 99% with your host, Paula Joy. And if you want to find me, you can go online, Google me, Paula Joy, or you can go to paulajoy.com, paulajoy.com, and you can, send me an email. Anyway, thank you for listening today, and we'll see you next week where we're going to show you how to create wealth without any of your own money, any of your own credit. Paula Joy.
Thank you again for listening to Wealth Solutions for the 99%. Please join Paul LaJoy again next Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Voice America Business as we continue to help you build your personal wealth.
Thanks again for listening to the preceding program brought to you on the Voice America Business Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit VoiceAmericaBusiness.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit VoiceAmerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the preceding program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America